where you're from and what brings you to Battle Mountain.
Okay, my name is Ivan Gundersen. I'm one of the designers and builders of the Sprocket rocket. My good friend Chuck Johnson and I designed and built this over the last few years. We met in engineering school. We're both mechanical engineers from Cal Poly Pomona in Southern California. So I was watching the Tour de France one day, saw a commercial that had Sam Whittingham at Battle Mountain going down the road really fast, advertising High Drive, energy drink. And I was curious, so I went and did some research and saw what the speeds were and went down the list and oh, that's really fast. And then I noticed the tandems were not as fast as the regular bikes. And I thought, oh, that's shouldn't be that way. I have a tandem, it's faster than my regular bike. So that's how this all started. I was like, oh, I think a tandem should be faster. So I decided to build one. So
just decided to build one?
Yeah.
Like you just were just like, you saw a commercial or
yeah.
in your bike?
Yeah. So not just any bike, you know, it's something special. So I saw an opportunity. I thought, okay, if we build this tandem, you know, maybe we can break some records. So we really just enjoy designing and building things. So we designed this 5-man tandem. More power is better, we're thinking. So we did a little bit of wind tunnel testing with models and determined that we should do well. So we decided to build it, design and build it, and we did. And this is our first year here at Battle Mountain. We've been here as spectators before, but this is the first time here as a competitor.
Really?
So we're going for the multi-rider, multi-track world record, which is 62 point something. So we want to do at least 63 miles an hour to get that record. So from front to back, we have a fiberglass nose cone. It has 2 cameras. Behind that, we have the bike has 4 wheels, but 10 tires, 160 psi tires. There's 2 and 2 in the front and 3 and 3 in the back for a total of 10 tires. They're inside aerodynamic wheel pants, they call them. We have Kawasaki 1000 disc brakes on the front and rear. So we have redundant braking. This thing stops on a dime. Very powerful brakes. We designed mechanical calipers instead of hydraulic because they release better. They back off so you don't have drag. We don't have any drag. So the front wheels have clutches built into them, so it's almost like a differential so we can steer easily. The rear wheels are on the same shaft and they're fixed. They drive together. The driver has steering via cables on a rotating handle. He has braking via cables as well. So the driver, he pedals, he steers, he brakes. The guy behind him, number 2, is just a motor basically. He's along for the ride, so he's just pedaling. They all have intercom so they can talk to one another. We have a push-to-talk radio for the chase vehicle. We can communicate back and forth. So rider 2, 3, and 4 are basically just motors. They're all in a recumbent position, clipped in. They have watt meters. Rider number 5, he's kind of like the co-pilot. He does the shifting and braking as well if necessary. The brakes are really good. It stops on a dime. The tail cone is the fiberglass, almost like a surfboard construction for aerodynamics. It has a tail light, vent, and video camera at the very back tip. So Rider 5 basically has a backup camera so he can see traffic coming up on him because we've tested on the highway. So yeah, so we've been passed by a motorhome at 60 miles an hour and hasn't been an issue. But we always have a lead and chase vehicle when we're on the road. We go to kind of a deserted desert highway, like the song says, out at Amboy Crater, Route 66 in Southern California is where we've been doing our testing. And then some local places in Chino, California. So yeah, it's even flatter than Battle Mountain on that particular course. It's about a 0.5% grade there. And 5 miles straight, just like here, lower altitude, a little bit flatter, very, very little traffic. But in the summertime, it can be 110 degrees. It's horrible in the summertime when it comes to temperature. Yeah. So, any other questions?
You've been doing this again for how long?
We've been constructing this for probably 3 or 4 years. Yeah. And, well, no, I've got a full-time job. And then I got this as a hobby, and my wife's getting rather burned out on it. You know, a lot of time and money has gone into it. So Chuck and I we're designing, building, and funding this project, and our wives are getting tired of the whole thing. You know, so.
What do you do at your other company?
I work for a company that designs and builds retail displays.
Retail display.
Yeah, so in stores, the fixtures that the products are on, sales counters, those sorts of things. So we're a manufacturer basically.
Okay. So you've always been in it like an engineer?
Yeah, I graduated in 1980 from Cal Poly Pomona, worked in mechanical engineering for a while, and then started working at the display company where we design and build custom displays. Yeah.
You've ridden in this yourself?
Chuck and I have had it up to 67 miles an hour, just doing a coast test on a rather slight slope at Amboy Crater. And during that test, we got passed by a motorhome at like 60 miles an hour. It's a little scary, but it's fun. And we have crashed. Okay, so there's only 2 of us in the vehicle. We have cam locks to hold the doors closed. We had gone probably 15 miles at highway speeds, and door number 2 with nobody in number 2, the latch is rattled loose, door opened, and it acted like a rudder and blew us off the road. So we went off onto the sand dunes, ended up on our side. That set us back months. So we didn't make Battle Mountain that year because of that.
This looks like a very expensive project.
Yeah. We don't want to talk about how much because Chuck and I were trying to stay married, so we've been married almost 40 years, and we want to keep it that way. Well, that's our mistress, let's say, Our wives are getting jealous.
Well, you're
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Anyway, it's a joke.
All right, that's awesome. I mean, if you have anything else you want to say?
Well, just anybody that's watching, try to do something special. Challenge yourself. We enjoy designing, building things. We've learned a lot, even at at Cal Poly Pomona, they have what they call a senior project. Before you graduate, you do a senior project, you build something, you get graded on it. Well, we're calling this a seniors project because my buddy's retired. I'm going to be retired at the end of this year. Really? So yeah.
So this can be full time.
Well, or 0 time if our wives get their way. So yeah.
Awesome.
But anyway.
That was great. I mean, this thing blows me away. I've never seen anything like this. It's the first time I've experienced this. If there's one thing that you would tell kids or anyone, any life advice about this or that?
Well, I think, if you have a dream, go for it, I think it was Back to the Future. There's a quote, you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything, So we put our mind to it and we accomplished this, and hopefully we break a world record this week. Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks a lot.
The movie
Chris
star
DeMarchi,
smiles.
Rudy Napolitano, Danny Camp,
Phil Tinsman, Josh Stockman.